Hi, this is Anis from Never Stop Trucking. There are two purposes of this video, and one of them is to tell you as a potential owner-operator that wants to drive for our authority, or the second is if you have your own authority and you're onboarding owner-operators, this list and this step-by-step procedure of onboarding might help you. So either one of them, if you're listening for any of these reasons, this will help you. So let's start right away. When you're onboarding a new owner operator, there are a few things that concern the driver, this being an owner operator, or maybe if you have someone that has their own truck and they have their own driver, then you will have to have a separate list of documents and procedures for that driver. So driver and owner operator, the owner of the truck, can be the same, or they can be two different people. Then there's also paperwork involved that a driver and the owner of the truck have to fill out and send back to us. And there's paperwork that we need to give them. So let's start with the driver first. Most smaller carriers, their insurance will require drivers to have at least 2 years of CDLA experience if they are driving a semi-truck. If it's a straight truck, they might not even need a CDL, or they might need a CDL-B. But in our case, I will be concentrating on semi-trucks and CDL-A. My insurance requires that the CDL license has been issued more than 2 years ago. Even if it's 1 day shorter than that, they will not accept the driver. It has to be exactly 2 years to the date and more. Now, they don't actually need provable experience. As long as they got the license at that time, that's fine. They don't have to even be driving this whole time. This is more on my end, that I, as a trucking company, may require the driver to have actual experience of driving, but the insurance does not need that. Some insurances may request that actual proof of driving and having that experience, so it's different on case-by-case basis. The next thing, the driver has to complete a drug test. A drug test can be completed locally, where your trucking company is registered in the same town, and you have to have a drug testing program in place before you even start your authority. Some drug testing places will require each driver to come into their facility to do the actual pre-employment and random tests right there, but most of them will allow the driver to do it someplace else, as long as you can get that negative drug test, send it to your place, and they can add the driver to random testing. Keep in mind when the driver fills out the paperwork that the dates of the actual contracts and most of these forms will have to be dated and technically filled out and dated after you get the negative drug test results back. The application, the driver can of course fill out the application before that, but when they're signing an agreement with you, or if you have a contract with them, then the contract will have to be signed with the date after you actually get the negative drug test result back. So that's very important. Also, the driver has to accept your clearinghouse query. You have to do a full clearinghouse query as a trucking company, and I would have to do it as well for the driver. So once we start a procedure of onboarding you as an owner operator, of course, the first step, like we said, has to be the insurance has to approve you. So I have to send your license to the insurance, and they have to approve you. That's the first step. If they don't approve you, then nothing else matters. Then we have to stop immediately and look for other options. The next thing would be to do a drug test. We can find you a facility in your town, so you don't have to come here because we are based in Michigan. But let's say you're in Texas, it's too far for you. We can find a facility near you where you can go and do a drug test, and then we will pay for that, of course. After that, we will send you the clearinghouse query. It's going to be a full pre-employment query. And you as a driver are supposed to have an account with clearinghouse. I haven't met any drivers right now that don't have it. Maybe it could be a new driver that they don't know about it, they don't have it yet. But any drivers that qualify with us that have had their license for at least 2 years, by this time they already have an account registered with clearinghouse because their previous employer or the company where they worked required that. So I go to clearinghouse.gov, log into my account, buy a query. It's $1.25 per query that I have to pay, and I use their driver's license information and send it to them. Of course, they have to send you a release. The driver has to sign a release, and they have to allow you to do that. All right. So once I send a query in the clearinghouse, it will automatically go into their account, into the driver's account. All the driver has to do is log into their clearinghouse account and accept that query, and then I can see their history and see if the driver is prohibited or if the driver is not prohibited. That's all it tells me. If it tells me driver is not prohibited, then that's all I need, and then we can go ahead with next steps. The driver has to have a current DOT medical card. Some companies will call it physical card, some will say medical, DOT medical, but you get it from a physician that does occupational work. It cannot be your own doctor, your own physician. You have to go to an occupational place where they perform DOT medical examinations. This is usually good for 2 years. Sometimes they will limit it for 1 year, and that has to do with some special conditions that you as a driver might have, but it will say right there on that medical card, it has to have the physician's name and their examiner number, and then it has to have that date and the expiration date. Next thing that you as a driver will have to do is fill out a paperwork. And there is anywhere you go, any trucking company, there will be a lot of paperwork because there is a lot of regulations for trucking companies. It will be application, handbook, release forms, all kinds of stuff. Now we can email it to you. We can also mail it to you, a physical document, or you can come in here and do it in the office. Any option is okay, as long as we get the application and the paperwork back before you start driving. Now, this part is for the truck owner only. We need our agreement, our contract signed before we dispatch you. This contract does not tie you into anything long term. It just says that you're going to be safe on the road, that you're going to follow the ELD rules, you're going to be on time for the pickup and delivery, you will carry insurance, and we will pay you the agreed upon percentage that you get from us. And then also, as an owner of the company, we will have to have your bank account information if you want to do a direct deposit into your account. Most people do it. 99%, maybe even 100% of people do it right now. We have payroll, and we can just deposit your driver settlement into your account, or we can do Zelle as well. And then we will need to have that bank account information at least 5 days prior to the first settlement release so we can input it into our system. Here's some paperwork that we need from you. We will need the driver's license, a copy of it. We will need the DOT medical card. We will need all the paperwork filled out completely. We will need the truck and trailer registration. We'll need truck and trailer bobtail insurance or non-trucking liability that you have. That's usually owner-operators have it in their own name. We will also need truck and trailer DOT annual inspections, current ones. They're good for 1 year, so they cannot be expired. If they are expired, you will have to go to a licensed mechanic and get the DOT inspection done, and then you can send it to us. All this can be emailed to us, so you don't have to go to actual mail, print it out, or make copies and send it. You can actually email it or take a picture, take a good picture on your phone and send it to us. We need to send you some paperwork too. Again, we can email some of this stuff to you. You can print it out. You will have to print it out, the things that have to be in your truck, or we can just mail it to you. We will send you our authority letter, our MC number and DOT numbers from the FMCSA. That's our permit to operate on interstate, and that has to be in your truck. We will send you the IFTA permit for the current year, and that also has to be in your truck. We will mail you the actual stickers if you don't come to the office, and if you come to the office, all of this will be much, much easier. But if you don't come here, we will mail you the IFTA stickers. Liability and cargo insurance, we will place you, your truck, and the trailer on the liability and cargo insurance, the one that we carry in our name, before your first dispatch. We don't place you on it before we dispatch you for the simple fact that it's very expensive. And it doesn't make sense to put you on that insurance, and someone will have to pay for it, but you're not driving, you're not ready yet. So on the day when you're ready, we will put you on liability and cargo, and we can email you, fax you, or text you the proof of insurance, and then you can have it in your truck. We will also send you a Kentucky permit. We will send you a temporary New York 30-day permit. I go online and I put in your truck information. They produce a temporary permit for me. And then at the same time, they will mail me the stickers for New York. So I can get you that temporary permit right away, and you can use it for the next 30 days. Once I get that sticker from New York, maybe in like 10 days or so, I can mail it to you, or you can come to the office and pick it up. Also, fuel cards, if you're on our fuel cards, and we have really good discounts with our fuel cards, we have to mail you those actually. And then our truck signs, again, if you're not coming here, we have to mail them as well to you. You put them, as soon as you get them, you put them on the side of your truck. You get the unit number and the US DOT number and the company name that you have to have on sides of your truck. And then we can also mail you the ELD device and the cable for the ELD device. Also, we can order them, and the company that we work with, Motive, right now, currently we work with Motive, they can actually mail those directly to you. So instead of having them mail it to me and then I have to mail it to you, and that will take a long time. This way we can do it much faster. Everything that I email to you, obviously you get it in a second, and you can start filling it out right away and send it back to me as possible. Anything that I'm about to mail to you, I usually use USPS 2-day priority mail, and because that's very affordable, and you get a tracking number, and you get it in you get it in 2 days. In most, like even if I send it from Michigan to Texas, they get it in 2 days. And then at the end, something very important. And I have a paper here that I give out to everyone, and I also email this to all owner operators so they can have everything in writing so we don't forget anything. But here at the end, there is a reminder. Please keep in mind that even though we cover the costs for the postage, for the ELD devices, truck signs, drug tests, and all this costs roughly around $400. So we handle all of that, plus the new annual subscription for the ELDs, which is around like $500 for the whole year. So yeah, I have to have a whole year's contract signed for that. So I have to pay all of that. So that's like almost $900 that I'm investing. So even though we cover all of that, we want to make sure that all of the steps above that I just mentioned are followed correctly to avoid any losses or downtime on both sides. We are proud of our promptness and communication, and we hope that this onboarding process will be smooth and painless for all parties involved. So we want to make sure that because there is a lot of time and there is some financial investment in this from all sides, because you're waiting for us. You're probably not driving, and you have to wait for all these things to come in and fill out. So you're going to lose a few days. We're also going to have to get all of this together and pay some money in advance. We expect everyone to be serious before they start and professional, and we want to make sure that we onboard you and then you start as smoothly as possible. Again, if you are thinking about signing up with us, if you're an owner operator, we have been in this business for a long time. I have been myself in this business for over 20 years as a driver, dispatcher, and now trucking company owner. So we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, and we're small enough to be very flexible and give everyone the personal attention that they need. This is Enis, and there's also Emro. He's working behind the scenes, but the two of us, we can help you a lot in this tough market. Thanks again, and hopefully we can all work together.